Hello there and welcome. It's been a little while since I did a video here, but I wanted to connect with you as we're going into the holiday season, or you might see this after the holidays, but it's still equally valid anyway. I wanted to check in with you and see how you're going with your work and your overall life. This time of year is usually a race to the finish line for a lot of people, and the holidays often don't really give us that downtime, at least not at the start, because there's usually family activities and travels and other things happening. So we're kind of, getting to the finish line only to realize that yes, we finished the work bit, but now we're leaning into a lot more of activity of other types. And don't get me wrong, it can be really fun to have that connection time, adventure time, whatever that is for you. But I think professionally, this time of year is a really, really powerful reflection time. And I have a free career checklist that you can download any time of the year, but especially now. It's linked in the description box below underneath this video. But essentially that checklist helps you take stock and reflect on your career, what's happening and what's coming up. But aside from that, if you don't have time to look at that right now, or you want to download it and go, I'll look at that later, when I'm back from holidays, that's totally fine. Do that and maybe put a little reminder in your calendar that you're going to go through that exercise and reflect on that in the new year. But for right now, there are two things that I would really recommend that you reflect on that apply mostly to your work, but they can also be applicable in your overall life. The very first thing to think about is what you need. So what is it that you need in your life right now or in your work? Is it that things have gotten a bit out of hand at work and you need some more clarity on the project or the line of work that you do? Do you need someone to update your role description to accurately describe what you do right now? Do you need a pay rise because you've been asking for it for a really long time and it's becoming this thing that you're almost a bit resentful to go to work because they haven't honored the promise or the indication that you would get a pay rise eventually? So your need is that primal, deep thing, the thing that doesn't sit right in your gut. And when our needs are not met, very often it will impact our life way beyond our work as well. So you don't need to act on it right now, but I want you to get as clear as you can on 1 to 2 things that you really need right now. It could also be that you need downtime, you need quiet, you need nature, you need to recharge. That is also fine. But what I would really recommend that you do, you can even pause this video if you want, is to write down on your phone, computer, or a notepad what are 1 to 2 things that you need to either address or have resolved in the near future. When we've addressed that thing, the next thing is the most exciting part, and it's addressing what you want. What you want is a lot different to what you need. What you need is often that burning feeling inside of you, or that gut feeling that's telling you really strongly that you need to address something. What you want is actually not in the moment, but it is in your future. It's when you lift your gaze and look forward and go, what would I like to see in my career? What would I like at work? Because the thing is, it's very hard to address what we want when the need hasn't been met. That's why we start there. So the thing to reflect over during your holidays is, what would you like more of professionally? You can set a goal for 6 or 12 months in the future, maybe even further away. 12 months is really good for most people to start with. And think about what you want. This time next year, what would you like to sit here and feel and think and be able to say about your work? Is it that you've moved into a manager role? Is it that you've changed industries? Is it that you've worked with a coach like me and articulated a whole new plan? What is it that you really deeply, truly want? What we want can come from that deep gut feel, but it's something that we often put aside because it's not practical, or people might judge us if we say or think certain things. What you want is unique to you. No one else gets to say if that's good or bad, right or wrong. You get to decide what's important to you. So I would really love for you to sit down and reflect. It doesn't take long at all. What do you need and what do you want? If what you want feels really fuzzy and fluffy and non-tangible, that's okay. Just start writing it down and think about things like, do I want to work in a bigger or a smaller team than I do right now? Do I want to work in a different type of company? Do I want to work with something that's more aligned with a certain skill? You know, for some people professionally, I see them doing a big 360 loop where they go and try a bunch of different things only to find that they actually enjoyed where they started their career a lot more than they did where their career took them. So sometimes it can be a simple back to basics. It could also be that what you really want is to be your own boss and run your own business or something like that. So it doesn't have to be super tangible and really clear, but it can be like, oh yeah, I reckon I'd work in a team of about 5 people. And I imagine I would have a manager that's a bit like X, Y, and Z, because those things are really important to me. And when that becomes clearer, it also gets really cool, because then you can start to create more of an action plan on how to put that together. If you need any help at all with this, I would really recommend that you firstly download that checklist, which will be linked here below, or secondly, get in touch with me. Let's have a chat about, I offer a free confidential chat where we can chat about your circumstances, where you're at, what you're looking for, and it can really, really help as you move forward. So have a quick think about what you need and what you want, and I trust that you look after yourself and make sure, if you're watching this before the holidays, have a wonderful break. And if you're watching this any other time, make sure to lean in and listen to what you need and start dreaming and planning for what you want so you can actually make that happen. Look forward to see you in the next video.